everyone. Welcome to the B-Side Breakdown. My name is Brett Johnson, and I am your host. This is episode 45 of a podcast where I talk with other artists, musicians, and songwriters about a song they've written that's meaningful to them that they want to talk about in this episode and give me permission to play the song in its entirety for you, the listener, so you can hear it before we have our conversation, so you have some idea what we're talking about. Cool. Today I'm going to be talking to the Jukebox Romantics about their song, The Walk to Heartwood. So let's get into it. Here is The Walk to Heartwood by the Jukebox Romantics.
The roar became a hum, so you left it all behind. But now you're settled with nothing, man. We really live in a fucked up state of mind. You've been looking for a purpose. Maybe you'll find it stumbling, breathing in and out, and I am feeling like I'm falling again. Let's head on down to Heartwood to hear the roar again. You said you feel the world ain't changing fast enough. Can you hear it? 6 a.m., wide awake, wearing my patience thin with the same old song you sang last time we came through here. And for what? 3 more days of another escape. I exist to complain, but I'm feeling pretty great as we walk down Main Street. Can this place, will it save my soul? Stay away. It's breaking, it's broken. This all ends the same. I found a way to make this feeling stay as we walk down Main Street. Can this place, will it save my soul? Once I stand and fuck away. 'Thoughts in my head, they come and go like the dead. But tonight, they just refuse to leave and let me be in this dream. And it's you, and it's me. Now is it getting hotter? How will I ever get some sleep? I've only got one plea, short of breath and a dream. But the dream is just reflecting back to me. And they say all the silly things, you know, they like to talk. Now they said to arm the teachers, but they sold the guns for junk, and now we're fucked. Stuck in the grate again. Pull back the curtains, my friend. See the dream has become a trend. A walk, straight into the say I'm gonna be alright. I can't stay away. A field of our dreams, built just for our scene. As we walk down Main Street, can this place, will it save our soul? The world winds us dead and buckle more. Can this place, will it save my soul? World winds us dead, will outlive them
All right, and that was The Walk to Heartwood by the Jukebox Romantics. We're going to take a quick break and come back and talk to James and Terry from the band about the song and everything else they have going on. So hang tight, stay with us. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, it's Brett again. I just wanted to take a quick second to tell you that we've started a Patreon for the podcast, just to help kind of keep the doors open and keep this labor of love alive. There's a down for the cause tier. It's $5 a month, and you get all the episodes ad free, and you get them in advance before they are published out on streaming services. So if you want to continue to show your support for us, please do, and go to patreon.com/B-side breakdown, and we'll be right back. Thanks. All right, and we are back. Let's bring in the Jukebox Romantics to talk about the song The Walk to Heartwood. So thank you so much for taking some time today to talk to me about the song. And, I would love to know, why specifically did you want to talk about The Walk to Heartwood?
It might be the most ambitious thing I've ever done musically. I've been making music personally, like friends and myself, for the last 15, 16 years. And I've always wanted to do something that was, I don't want to say epic, but I grew up listening to like Green Day and No Effects and even like Pink Floyd, that all had really long songs. And this was kind of a concept that we joked about it, doing something like this. And, you never know if it's actually going to happen until it happens. And it's been an exciting journey, and happy to be here talking about it.
Yeah, no, and that's really cool. Because as I listen to it, I'm like, wow, I can't wait to hear about the dude you're talking about initially, or who's that referring to. But then, and even like the roar becomes a hum, and I'm thinking, as a former, in touring musician myself, it's like, well, I relate to the lyrics for sure on some of that, just from my own experience of what I'm connecting with, but just the intensity of what's going on in this, and the genres that you are all able to cobble together that flow seamlessly and smoothly in and out of each other, and completely showcasing basically like the chops of 4 completely different styles of bands, which I thought was awesome. Tell me more about that. I mean, I didn't want to draw a comparison to epic Green Day songs. And I'm glad you said it, but there was sort of it doesn't sound like that by any means. And it doesn't sound like you're doing anything to sound like anybody else. But when I heard it, I was like, this has a feeling that's familiar that I've experienced with other bands like the ones you've mentioned. And I think that's just like this really cool nod to them, as either, someone you respect or as influences. But I'd love to hear more about how did this actually come about? Like, I know you're saying it's ambitious, and these things happen when they do. But what was sort of the genesis of it? Was it a lyric? Was it the chord you played, or humming a tune on a bus, or what?
So the actual like true genesis of we're making the song, not even like the first chord or anything,
Mm-hmm.
was Fest 21, I think it was. We were playing just once that weekend. We were doing crazy, uh, cover shows or anything. Just one show, and then getting to enjoy one of the best times you can have musically and kind of the world. And we're walking to Heartwood, which is a venue in Gainesville
Right.
at Fest that is kind of away from the main thoroughfare of everything going on. There's the main stage at Bo Diddley Plaza that has a lot of bigger bands playing, but then there's all these like smaller venues, medium venues, bars, just shows going the whole time, and they're within like a minute walk of each other. And it's this really cool carnival of like punk rock and ska and hardcore. And then there's Heartwood, which is like a 10-minute walk down the road, down Main Street. That's where that lyric came from. That like you really got to have a reason to go down there, because like you're at least missing 10 minutes of something, because you could spend 8 hours in a row. Just I'm in one venue. I'll spend 1 minute walking to the next venue. I'm listening to a band, and then it's like, oh no, I'm going to Heartwood. There's something I really want to see there. And it's usually a lot of ska bands too, which we've all we're all punk rock kids. We're all hardcore kids. We also all used to be ska kids at some point, or played ska, or played a song that was ska in a punk band.
Wait,
Sure.
wait, 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 wait. I was not a ska kid.
Uh-oh. Point of contention.
I said punk rock kids or hardcore kids, and played in a ska band or a song that was ska in a punk rock band.
Fair enough. Continue.
There we go.
So wait, before you go on, quick question on that, because I mean, I've been to Fest a couple of times, and I thought you were talking about Heartwood from Gainesville, but like
Yeah.
you're from New York, so I didn't know. I've also known you've played Fest, but I didn't necessarily make that connection. Is Heartwood though? Is that the venue that's kind of like an outdoor stage, or is it an indoor venue?
Yeah, it's the outdoor stage one. That's there's
Yep.
it's like a big park
Yeah.
looking kind of
Exactly. Got it.
area.
Yep. I saw
Anyway,
the
that
Iron
walk
Roses play
is
there a couple years ago on that stage, and yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
oh hell yeah. I somehow always manage to be down there while it's raining too. I don't know why that happens, but um there's like two outdoor stages, and it's
Right.
always raining at that one. But yeah, so we're walking down there for like the third time that fest, and we're joking about like, oh, because we're talking about songs to write for this album we got coming up. And we joke about like, what if we wrote a song that was the walk to Heartwood, like the length of the walk to Heartwood? And then we're just joking and talking about it. And when you're creative with people, jokes sometimes become ideas that you're like, oh, that's actually a good idea, because like if we did that, we could do this, and then and that kind of snowballed, and it still kind of stayed a
Yeah,
bit. And
it was a snowball for sure. Because originally it was completely a like on the nose, like it's right at like an actual walk, like about the walk, like what you see. So like it was very literal before it became like what it eventually became. So the joke definitely took grew legs on its own.
and and just that kind of in our heads, we go into starting to write. And then a couple of months later, I just had some time to sit down and no distractions, just write. Like I had like a extended break at work, uh, where I had a guitar and like my computer, and I could like actually track ideas. And I put together just some like little airy thing. I was like, oh, this is kind of nice, whatever. And then we had practice like the next day to like work on some new songs. And I got there early, and I was just there with my bass, and I'm like playing through it. And I kind of came up with the melody to the chorus, and sort of the lyrical idea of, can this place save my soul? If the world wants us dead, then fuck them all. And I was like, well, that sounds like something. And we started to work on it. And then we had like a good verse to chorus. And our drummer comes in, and we're like, okay, here's this song. We show it to him, and he's like, and this is going to be the 9-minute song. And it became a fight, because he's like, we're not doing a 9-minute song. That's a dumb idea. And we're like, no, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's like, no one's gonna listen to a 9-minute song. And you back and forth, people argue in bands, and in all in good natured fun.
Of
Oh
course.
yeah, I
But
mean, we kind of just steamrolled him. He didn't really have to
yeah.
say.
Well, listen, to his credit, he loves it now, so
Awesome.
it
Yeah,
worked out.
it's his favorite song on the record, so it does work out.
No,
Oh,
that's cool. And so and I'm familiar with that walk, doing that many times myself. Just like, right, I'm going past everything to get to where I need to go see this band, and then to go back to the other side of town to catch, John Snodgrass and Buddies or something. And it's like just
mhm.
right from beginning to end. But then so the lyrics, are they pointed at anything specific, or is it kind of like you said, it's like you're writing lyrics about that experience of walking down there, and it's more about that,
um,
or is there more? Is it more focused on something specific? That's the hard part that I'm trying to kind of wrap my brain around with it, because it's of the different movements of it and how long it is, and in the recurring themes. It's like I'm just trying to get there.
sure. Well, there's definitely parts that are a little bit more literal, that are just like emotions and feelings and moments that happen.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, it's a love letter to Fest.
Got
But
it.
then you
Got it.
step
Got it.
back
Got
a
it.
bit, and it's more so a love letter to the experience of being in a band, the scene as a whole, like
Sure.
your happiness is with it, your disappointments, your fears for the future, your hopes. It kind of starts to grab all those the more you dive into it. But like there's parts that are like, the beginning of the verse, 6 a.m. wide awake,
Yep.
wearing my patience thin. Like that's like just me venting about being a grumpy, not a morning person on a flight with the rest of my band. And that then juxtaposes with like kind of pulled out ideas and lyrics.
Yeah,
Got
and
it.
then
Um,
the verse after that goes into like 3 p.m.
Yep.
like hanging in the sun or rotting in the sun. So it's like it definitely, the song is like a roller coaster of movement, and it
Yeah.
weaves in and out like the literal walk and being present at the festival, but then like the grandiose like thematic arches of like what a utopia
Uh huh.
full of punk ideals could be like, reflected from the festival itself. And
Sure.
so it's kind of comes in and out for sure.
I love the line, "My chucks are melting off, my feet stomping through the swamp." Like totally, totally feel that so thoroughly. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a funny one too, because it's funny when James mentioned the ska and the ska band thing. Like early on in the Jukebox Romantics, like we definitely had more like ska punk influences in song in
Okay.
our records.
Sure.
The first two records had some horns in them, and there's organ on all Jukebox records, but like there was more like ska organ and
Yep.
horns and upstrokes and on purpose ska things. And so for years, people have been like joking and pushing and prodding for us to play a couple of those ska songs or ska punk songs. And we had one of them was like on like a Warped Tour compilation. So like that song definitely had a lot of legs for us as a band early on,
Yep.
but like definitely didn't it always pops up at the top of like streaming services because of its like reach from the Warped Tour, but it's not a song that represents what we sounded like at all back then or even now. So it's
Sure.
I needed to like really make sure that like when we got to the ska part to like emphasize it, like for 15 years people have been begging for ska, and I need to make as many ska references with stomping
Yeah.
and swamp. So it's like I tried to make it as corny ska, but without it being like a corny lyric. Like I feel like the lyric that you pulled out of it is probably one of my favorite lyrics from the song, even though it's totally not like an emotional heartbeat of the song.
Right.
To me, it's silly. It's like a funny thing.
For sure. Well, yeah, and pick up the pace, and I mean, I just hear all these references to even like the ska bands I used to go listen to, and just it reminds me of that. I really, yeah, it's super fun. It's such a roller coaster, like I think you said, and I've listened to it I don't know how many times, and it's like every time I keep thinking, like, as it's going through the, like, kind of lulls in the pits and the valleys of it, it's just, I keep going back to it. It's really great. And I haven't listened to the rest of the record yet, and I'm excited to hear it. But this all came out recently, right? It's like just this past October, like a month ago, you released this. Is that true?
Yeah. About a month ago, October 17th, I think was the official release day.
Okay.
And this song came out like just a couple weeks before. And it's cool that we're like on this podcast with you because like this, not that this was going to be a B-side or anything like that, with the name of the
Oh,
podcast,
yeah.
but there was a good chance that like for a moment there was talks of just like releasing it on its own because it was so grandiose and so epic.
Sure.
And we did release it. We have released it like on a cassette that was limited for Fest
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But it does, really cap off the album uh, in a nice way, but stands on its own probably more than a lot of things do.
Sure. No, that's great. That's awesome. And is the best place for folks to get this record? This one looks cool. That's the name of the record, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And that's
You can
Bandcamp is the right spot?
Bandcamp or Sell to Heart Records for US or
Cool.
Engine Records for UK, right?
Okay.
I didn't
Yeah,
fuck that up?
Engineer Records
Engineer.
in the UK, and yeah, Sell the Heart. Both their big cartels and websites have it, and I think it's on Bandcamp as well through us and live at shows. It's on CD, vinyl, streaming, kind of all the things. Laserdisc.
Laserdisc.
It's not on Laserdisc, but it could be if you really want.
It could be if you really want it.
If you really want
you
it,
believe
that can happen. No, that's awesome.
We did, the song itself, we put it on cassettes, and I think there's a couple left, and all the money went towards charity.
Awesome.
Which was cool. Because I was like, who wants a single in 2025?
Right.
It's a term that kind of died years ago.
Sure.
Was the single.
So tell me more about, okay, so as I'm looking at this, I mean, this is the first record you put out, what, in 4 years? Yeah? Is that right?
Almost 8 years.
In 8 years.
First
okay.
full length, yeah.
Full length.
First full, yes. First
okay.
Full length.
So tell me about, well, then when did the band form? And did it form? You're all based in New York, is that right?
Yep. We're all based in New York, with Lower New York,
okay.
in the Yonkers area, and a little bit above is where our drummer lives, and probably like the town of Poughkeepsie is
sure
where listeners would probably know best, and that's not where he lives, but it's definitely like the closest city that somebody would know to where he lives. And the band formed in 2008, and this version of the band formed in 2020, like post-pandemic. The drummer and myself have been in the band since 2012, and then James and AJ joined up in 2020, and it's been like this for the last 5 years. And it's been awesome. We've released a bunch of things, and we got stuff lined up and plans for the future. And it's kind of version, I guess it's like the third or fourth version of the band over the last like 18 years or 17 years. Which is cool because the band in itself has like had different I hate this word because of fucking Taylor Swift, but like different eras. And so
it's fine. It's fine.
I'm taking it back. I'm taking the word back.
Taking it all back.
But like, yeah, so like we started off as a 5-piece, and then we were a 4-piece for a while with me fronting the band. And then 2 guys left because they couldn't tour anymore. So then we became a 3-piece with Bobby Edge playing bass for a while, and then we regrouped as a 4-piece, with adding back a guitar player. So it for a band that's been around for this long, it's not that many lineup changes. It just like was basically like there was like 4 years. Or no, there was like a 2-year, a 4-year, a 4-year, and now a 5-year, and it all kind of woven in and out together. And everybody's still cool and friends. And our original guitar player still jumps up on stage and plays guitar in some songs, and
Oh, fun.
it's very fluid. And I wouldn't say like a jam band where anybody can just pick up and jump in.
Sure.
But like if something happened and someone was like, "Oh, I can't do something," like if so and so was around or wants to play, like and could like learn the songs again or relearn the songs, like it totally could do that. So it's nice that like our band is very much like a family kind of vibe.
No, that's super cool. And it sounds like, I mean, this is, if this is your first, I'm just seeing that on your Bandcamp site that this is your first after 4 year break since your last formal release. Like this is a significant undertaking, and it's an insignificant release that you've had, less or just about a month ago. What was the cause of the 4 year hiatus? Was it a hiatus, or was it just you just didn't release anything?
I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's
no,
more of like, yeah, like a just we were working on music, but me and AJ joining the band kind of just, hey, you're learning this band that already has like a 10-12 year history that you got
Right.
to get acquainted with. And then on top of that, it's like, hey, we're in the middle of a international pandemic that's been the most significant thing that's happened in my life since I was 7.
For
Like
sure.
it's kind of a crazy thing. And so like figuring out like, oh, how are we doing shows? Like how are we meeting up in some cases? Like that was like the first year, 2 years of the
Yeah.
band was still navigating COVID
Yep.
and that. And then we're writing, we had put out a couple of songs
Hmm.
in that time. Like we were on a split with 2 songs, and then we had done one song for when we started to write for the album. We'd also been asked to kind of write a song for a short film that we're like, well, this is a great song and it's going to be great for this film, and then we're going to put it on an album. But like it's just like this time slowed down for everyone in the period, and that's kind of where that showed up in Jukeboxes. We we were just figuring out what was going on, what felt right at the time.
No, it totally makes sense, and that completely makes sense. Right. I just didn't know if there was like a different reason from like the 21 to 25 range that there was something else significant that was happening. But I get it. I totally get that.
Oh,
Oh well,
there's
yeah,
actually
well, yeah.
wait, yeah,
Our drummer, our drummer had a kid, and I had 2 kids in
There
that
you go.
period.
I
So,
forgot
Right.
about that
Life
part.
shows up. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there was one other thing, this little thing.
so yeah, so like that was navigating doing that, which it maybe it slowed us down and made us be more choosy with the amount of shows and
Yep.
what shows we were playing. But like music writing wise, we were kind of like steadily going. Like James said, we had done a cover song for like a compilation. We had done a couple splits, um, but nothing like significant, like a full release. And for a band like us, after this many years and with like a new lineup, we kind of needed that time to like from like 2021 or like 2020, yeah, 2021 to like 2023 to like really figure out like what does this band sound like with this version of it,
Sure.
with James and AJ in the band. And
Yep.
so I didn't want to really force anything because unlike a lot of bands, from the beginning of time, the Jukebox Romantics has always been a collaborative band. It's never really been like my band, even though I'm like the original dude and kind of like spearhead a lot of things. Like every
Sure.
band has somebody like that or a couple of people like that.
Yep.
Um, although I do write a lot of songs, it's always written as a collaboration. And I really wanted James and AJ to, bring stuff and ideas to the forefront and us to collab on everything. And when you are a band that does that, unlike some bands, like you'll see that there are bands that are just cranking out songs all the time, like all the time. And the way that happens is because basically somebody is doing that and writing them and be like, this is the song. And everybody's just like, cool. And like, let's just do it. And they just do it. And for us, not that we like sit on songs for a while, because we definitely don't. Some of the songs on the record we wrote like 2 weeks before the studio.
Sure.
Even the walk to Heartwood was not that long of a writing process. Like James, what would you say it was?
It we I mean, we started kind of like, oh, here's like a chorus, and maybe we could like sit down and do it in the late winter of 2024. But then once we like we started the drums in the December of that year. We didn't finish that song until like November of
Right,
2024.
but
Like it was
right,
like
but
we
which is not
didn't.
that long of a time for a 9 minute, or, almost 10 minute song. So um, we kind of like do take, we write pretty quickly, but kind of like workshop things as a collaborative unit, which makes things just take a little bit longer. So because of all those factors, I think that's why there was a gap in time, and because I think we wanted to like put out an album, whereas like a lot of people nowadays just drop songs all the time.
Right.
So
Sure. No, and that's great that you assembled the whole right 10-song record and put it out on vinyl. That's awesome. And is this your first release on Sell the Heart Records, or have you worked with them before?
we've been working with them now since 2021.
Okay.
They've kind of put out everything we've done with the Fires Forming EP from 2021,
Yep.
and then they helped put out part of like a split we were on, and we just have a great working relationship with Andy. I mean, the label is run by Andy from Tsunami Bomb, and he's just such a good dude. And we've been on labels for since 2009 with the band, and working with him is just very easy and transparent and honest, and something we really needed after the last experience we had with the full length. So it was nice to kind of cultivate a relationship with releasing something smaller like an EP and being like, hey, we want to do a new record and we'd love to do it with you because working with you last time was so easy. So it's nice to do that because it just makes things a little bit easier.
Definitely. Definitely. So then on the recording process, the one thing I didn't catch is everybody in the band from that southern part of New York that you were talking about, or do people live elsewhere?
We're
Yeah,
all in
we're
the same area.
You're all from the same area. Okay, cool. Good for you and good for you because man, I didn't I moved away from I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota originally, and I now live in Atlanta. And the when I was in Minneapolis, had a band, and of course, COVID happens, and then we're like, well, we can't really be in a practice space together because your mom's got super sensitivity to everything, and if you get sick, she gets sick, and this is bad. So we had to, do what everybody had to do, and we figured out, long distance recording because when I moved away, and some of the dudes moved to further into the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin, and someone was still in Minneapolis, it was like, how can we make this work? So it's just, and so we recorded a lot of things remotely and would have somebody assemble it in a studio. And then, we just kind of go from there from like the mix and master side of it. But
Good for you, man, because that is so hard in my brain. Like James and AJ could totally do that. They're both recording
oh
engineers, and could do it to an extent, but like it's Norm and I recording and sending files and stuff like impossible. Like we are not the postal service by any means. So I give it up to you. I wish we could do that because yeah, we do live in the same area, but James
cool.
lives about 3 hours from Norm, and me and AJ live around the corner from each other. So we're kind of like the middle point for everybody. We're about
Yep.
like an hour and a half from each other. So getting together, is not impossible, but not the easiest. So I couldn't imagine being, 5 hours from people and trying to write music. I would just give up because I'm just not technologically talented enough to figure that out.
Yeah, it was. I mean, sure, it was a weird figure it out as we go learning curve. Like, how do we actually do this that makes this work? And fortunately, I have really smart friends that are engineers that just said, "Dude, just do this and this and this, and just always reproduce this track the same way every time, and then just record on this and send me the output." I'm like, "All right, cool." And so it was impossible
hell
for me
yeah.
to fuck it up, which was great. So I was pretty happy about that. But I wanted to ask you, where did you then record this record? Did you self-record it? Did you go into a specific studio or specific engineer
Uh,
you worked with?
oh, we had a specific studio, a specific engineer for sure. We did this up in. Okay, I'm forgetting exactly where it is.
Montgomery, New York.
There, Montgomery. Thank you. Um, Montgomery, New York, at Nada Studios with the great John Niclario, who Jukebox has been recording with for a while because he's one of those people that, like, the way that a band member, when you play together and you're like, oh, you get me, I get you,
For
like, we
sure.
can play this music, right? He gets us in the way that when we want to make a song, he hears us do a demo or a shaky vocal take and he'll go, I know what you're going for. Let's redo that. Let's do it this way. And like, has a great ear for getting what we want better,
Yeah.
essentially.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad that you have that. That's also something I found is not that's kind of a diamond in the rough, man. I mean, I think it's hard to find that kind of chemistry with an engineer that knows that and can connect with, artists in a way where they know that exact kind of thing. There was a guy in Minneapolis, a genius engineer. His name is Jeff Howland. He used to play in a band called Houston. Just incredible, incredible guy, an incredible ear. But it was the same kind of thing. Like, he's like, no, we're doing this again because this is what I know you're going for. And I'm like, all right, and just take his lead. But that's great that you have that. Um, so was this how many different recordings have you done with him?
The first record we did with him was the Sleepwalk Me Home record from 2017.
Oh, okay, cool.
That last full length. That was the first thing we did with him. And then we did the EP with him, the Fires Forming EP, which, originally was supposed to be a full length, but then the pandemic happened and then it kind of just became what it became.
Sure.
And it was like time to like move on from that and just start anew. And then he's recorded like vocal parts for some stuff because
Yeah.
even though like the majority and chunk of it we've done with him, like we have recorded guitars at AJ's studio, at his house. We've done some keyboards and synths with AJ at his home studio or at James's house. We've done some synth stuff and we did some guitars at Mercy College or Mercy University in Dobbs Ferry, New York. They have a beautiful recording program there for students, and we just happen to be friends with the engineer there, so he let us record on some really nice mics there, some acoustic stuff, and then the chunk of it was mostly done at Nana with like the drums, bass stuff, some guitars, all the vocals. So we kind of like, because of being split up around the area and not like together everywhere, it was to make the process a little speedier. Um, it was kind of pieced together that way where we just did like a 4-day session of drums and bass, and then we did all the guitars at AJ's house, and then we came back and did all the vocals and stuff at the studio and mixing and that sort of stuff. So
Oh, okay.
it's a one of my favorite processes so far because there was the urgency of like we have dates on a calendar for recording and we can get it done, but not like, you know, oh, we're going to run out of time or money or this or that. Like we had the means of doing some guitars and here, or really like work on melodies and harmonies and keyboards and extra like bells and whistles at home, which are like fun things to do that like when you're at a nice studio will just burn money, like
Right.
sitting in a nice recording studio and being like, oh, let's play with this like kids piano for 2 hours and figure out some sound we can get out of it. Whereas like just,
Right.
dicking around at home studio, we can be like, oh, like I found this really cool, harpsichord organ going through this filter and we can make it sound like we're in outer space. And like to do that in a studio, it's fun to do because there's bells and whistles and a producer who's got ideas too to bounce off, but just like not really economically viable when you're a DIY punk band.
Yeah. Right. We're right.
And
No.
John's studio, like Nada is a nice big studio. Like he's done My Chemical Romance, Brand New, Public Enemy, like Anthrax. Like he does big names. So like for small bands like us, like I don't want to waste his time either. Even though bands like us are the bands he has like the most fun with, kind of things.
Oh no, that's great. That's great. So with this coming out, did you guys play Fest this past year?
Yes, we did.
Oh,
That was
awesome.
kind of, we said that we had all the time in the world, like to dick around on our own and work on harmonies and extra parts and stuff. But we did have one deadline, and it was we need to make sure this gets out before Fest because we have this 9-minute song that is the absolute love letter to Fest that we could ever do,
Yeah.
and it has to be out like ready to go, especially because we went through these labels and everything. Like you can't just drop it like, oh, we got it, put it out. It's like we have to have months ready,
For
and so
sure.
that was the only kind of fire we had going, but it was a pretty big one because it was like, well, there's no other reason to
Yeah.
get this out any sooner.
Right.
Right. And that tough part was that the record was done being mixed and all that stuff like in June of 2025. And then, you wait for like, you got to deal with distributors and pressing plants.
Yeah.
And there was, of course, a disaster at the pressing plant, where the original pressing
Always.
plant that we were using
Yeah.
went bankrupt or something like
Oh
that. I
no.
don't know. It's like there's legal talk, so I don't really know what we're allowed to say
Okay,
or what
fair.
really happened. But all I know is that like the deposit for those records is gone, and that they kind of went like MIA the first pressing. So it had to be like repressed and all that sort of stuff. So even though the song was done and mixed in June or July of 2025, and it was coming out only a few months later, that really only gave us a few months to actually learn how to play the song. Because like we recorded the 9-minute song, but we didn't sit there playing it for 9 minutes, recording it
Right.
like other songs. Like we have, obviously we can play all the songs through
Yeah.
and have recorded live before all together, but 9 minutes was like, with all the extra nonsense we put on it with the bells and whistles was like, and time signature changes and key changes and
Yep.
guitar changes. I was like, oh, we have to actually like rehearse this song. So it's actually the most rehearsed song out of the whole new record because of it having to be played at the festival.
Oh, for sure.
So
That's
we had to do it, and it takes up a third of the set list. So we
Oh
need to
yeah,
make
that's
sure.
yeah, that too, right.
Hardly. Jeez, it was long.
No, that's great. That is great. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. So then post fest, obviously this came out October 17th,
Mhm.
and fest was what, the 24th this year, I think, something like that, or the
25, 26, 27.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
So then what happened after that? Was there any other, did you go kind of on the road and do any other touring in support of this yet? Or is that coming up or not so much?
Yeah, we played like a couple shows leading up to it, like just to kind of work out the kinks of the songs.
Yeah.
Did like a record release show,
Cool.
and then we've played a couple shows back home, like in the city and in where was the other one? I don't even remember. But we played a few shows since then
Westchester.
in Westchester, and we have some stuff lined up for February and March. Kind of like or end of February, March. I kind of get weary with doing things in January and
Sure.
February. We have like a long history of this band where like we have these ambitious ideas of doing some touring and shows in February, and either snowstorms or blizzards or
Yep.
COVID or sickness or death. So like we kind of avoid anything in February.
Makes sense.
So pretty much like once spring comes, it'll be like kind of like the real push for the record and like playing it out more. Right now, we are in like the playing like one-off shows here or there, and then the plan is to play more to promote it in the springtime with some festivals and flyouts and other things that we're doing for it. But
Awesome.
yeah, as of right now, currently in the end of 2025, we're kind of like in this holding pattern. We're like the record's out, we're letting people listen to it, and we're kind of going to make the push in the spring, let the record grow a little bit from there.
No, that makes a ton of sense. Awesome. Well, let's do. Go ahead.
From Minneapolis, it's
Dude,
the pains of being in the winter area as a band.
For real. Yeah, that's the worst. It's like, yeah, let's go tour through the northern United States in the winter. It's like, are you insane? Like, no.
It's funny too because
let's go to Canada too. Like, come on, man.
Like punk rock is like inherently like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of punk rock albums are like summer albums.
For sure.
And so we're notoriously written lots of summer albums, and I feel like this one is very much like a fall album, which is cool. But when you do that, like it's really hard to do anything in the Northeast in the fall. Like it really is like it is risky, and just like it's like the shows are like not as great. People don't want to go out in the shows.
Yeah.
The weather's bad. Like it's not really like conducive for like a good time. And so there's like this battle there of like the Northeast. I think it's why the Northeast and Midwest have like this like extra vibe to the punk rock music.
For sure.
Like it's cold and we're angry.
Stuck in basements all winter long and just like hammering it out, like making
exactly
the next record. Then it's spring, let's go. It's just, yeah. I mean, get on the road when you can. No, that's cool. All right, well, let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and find out what y'all are working on next. Cool?
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Hang out, everybody. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back with James and Terry from the Jukebox Romantics. I've been practicing saying that because
It's so funny because everybody seems to have issues when they're saying it in like a podcast or interview form. Like when you just say it without thinking about it,
it
when you
just
start
flows.
looking at it, it seems weird.
Well, and James busted me earlier because I'm saying, yeah, the walk to Heartland. And he's like, Heartland? And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I'm calling it the wrong shit. And, anyway. But it's been awesome talking with you guys. So tell me, like, what's coming up next then? I know you were talking about, you're hinting at future spring tours, potentially, and other special events. And I think I heard some sort of fly dates in support of this new record. But is there any that you can talk about?
None of that. I can't talk about any of it really.
We can't confirm anything.
I figured as much.
But yeah, there are a couple of shows that were out of country and out of state, flying to and driving to. But what we are doing is right now. So right now, one of the songs is playing on Sirius Satellite Radio.
Oh yeah,
from the new record, the song March 24th.
Okay.
So that song is playing there, and so we'll be kind of like playing that one. And we have a video for it, and I would think about maybe trying to figure out doing like some sort of other video for it to go along with it, and more videos in general. I think taking the winter time where we're not playing as many shows to kind of do some more video content, because I feel like that's so important nowadays.
Agreed.
As much as I freaking hate it, like I love doing this sort of stuff. Like I love meeting somebody new and finding and discovering their podcast and then talking whatever with them. And I think that's super cool. But like the process of like making music videos and taking band photos, like it's just so painful. And so I want to make some videos though, because, even though we've been this lineup for like 5 years now, I would love to put everybody's faces more to the new music more. And so probably some video stuff, and I can kind of talk about it, but we got asked to be part of a really cool compilation that hasn't been announced yet. That's going to be like bands covering a band. And the song that we got asked to play is like my favorite song from this band. So we're going to, and it's not a band I love either.
Sure.
So it's cool. So I'm very excited for that. So be on the lookout for like a super cool cover song from a band that's going to be on like a vinyl compilation in the next like little bit.
That's awesome.
We can talk off air about it.
Sure. No, that's just so funny. There's this really cool thing happening, and we're totally doing this other thing, but we can't really say anything about anything. So just be on the lookout, But I understand.
Yeah, it's like a tough period because it's like the quiet before all these things get announced, and so. I don't know when this episode was going to air, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
No, of course.
Or myself in trouble, because I notoriously have done that before.
No, that's cool. Two things. So where is the March 24, 1984 video? Is that up on YouTube right now?
Yeah, that's on YouTube right now. Okay. And that is all about like 80s movies and John Hughes films. And,
of course.
Which is pretty cool. And it's cool that it got picked up for satellite, because it's definitely gotten a lot of new people to listen to us, which is sweet.
That is. That's great.
And pretty cool to tell your parents like, hey, we're on the radio, and then them actually knowing what Sirius Satellite Radio is, and not being like, what do you mean you're on what's a podcast? Or like, like I don't have Spotify, or I don't have what's Bandcamp, or none of this stuff. So it's nice to be like, hey, old person, like we're on this. Antiquated listening system called the radio.
That's funny. Do you know what station that is, or what channel on Sirius XM that is?
Yeah, it's on Faction Punk channel 314.
Cool. Everybody, you hear that? If y'all got that in your cars or you're subscribing to it, whatever you do, go listen to it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So so I think the short term plan is to pick another one or two singles.
Okay.
And make some videos for it, and kind of, keep on trucking with promoting the record and all that sort of stuff.
That's great. So do you all have like I imagine you have merch and T-shirts and things for sale. Is that all through like Sell the Heart, or or do you sell that through Bandcamp, or is
Yeah,
that
if
not
you
your
go on
thing?
to a Bandcamp, we have some stuff. We're also on our link tree, like on
Oh, cool.
our social media. We have a store envy, it's called. So it's just the jukeboxromantics.storeenvy.com. And we have a ton of merch up there. We were doing uh, a 1 week only Stranger Things kind of drop because
Uh-huh.
we've done like Stranger Things shirts for every season. And so I'm thinking since this season of Stranger Things is broken up into like 3 parts, maybe doing like 2 more
It's
special
3
drops.
parts. I thought it was just 2.
Nah, so it's like 4 episodes came out Thanksgiving,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
4 more episodes come out Christmas, and then 1 episode comes out on New Year's.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just the 4.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like 4 episodes, 4 episodes, 4 episodes. And I'm like, can they drag this? Like, listen, I love Stranger Things. I watched there's from the first season came out. I was so into it, but at a
Sure.
certain point, you
No,
get
well,
hurt by the things you love.
Yeah.
okay, they didn't do the thing that like Walking Dead did, or The Wire, or The Sopranos, where it's like we're gonna do half a season. Oh no, it's a fucking Game of Thrones. We'll do like 4 episodes and then
Right.
wait a year for 4 more. Like at least they're doing, a month. You get a month to digest it, and then you'll get 4 more, and then a week later you get a 2.5 hour finale or 2 hour finale.
Oh,
So
that's
That
great.
not to get too in the weeds about a different medium, but like
Sure.
streaming is like a new thing relatively, and like yes, it's fun to binge a thing the second it comes out,
Right.
but I think it does benefit like a show in the zeitgeist more to like, hey, so a certain amount of episodes came out, we're talking about it for the next couple of weeks, and then more came out later. Like that does lend to a longer staying period for talking about it with your friends and everything. So
I mean,
like
I
right. Like the whole
I would.
HBO original series thing, like just generally speaking, Sunday night was the night that something cool that you really like to watch came out, and then you're talking about it for the next 12 weeks with people. You know what I mean? It's like that to me
I,
made
I
more
agree with
sense.
you, Brett, 100%. I would much rather go back to the once a week
Me too.
drop because one, I don't have time to do as many binging activities as I used to,
Sure.
and two, you can't talk about it then. I literally was like,
mhm.
visiting family for Thanksgiving, and my sister was like, "Did you watch all of Stranger Things last night?" I was like, "No." It's like,
Right.
and so now,
I have
and
two
So now we
kids.
can't
yeah,
talk about it. Yeah.
yeah, so now we can't talk about it. But if it was like, oh, did you see the first episode last week? I'm like, yeah, I just saw it. I can't wait till da da da. Like, let's theorize. But now it's like, and imagine you're a content creator who you do like podcasting or YouTube shows about these things. Like,
Sure.
I don't know how these people talk about it. Where it's like, all right, let's talk about all of it at once. It just seems like a big undertaking. you know? It's like,
Definitely.
dude, why not? I don't know why you wouldn't just do it once a week. I don't see why it would not like. It doesn't hurt it. I don't think.
Yeah.
Anyway, not to tangent about something completely not.
No, that was
I think
fun. That was a fun tangent to
it's
go
kind of
down.
it's kind of what's it called? It's kind of like what bands do now, where they drop a song like every month before like a record, and I think that's the opposite. I just want the whole
Yeah,
record at
but
once.
right. I don't disagree. I think the dropping single model
Oh, I think that
sucks.
model sucks.
I hate it.
It sucks. It sucks. Okay, yeah. I'm go hot take. Fuck that shit.
I think the
I
dropping the single thing
no
is
it
one of those things that worked for like in 2009 and 10 for like a couple of years because that's like where
well
the
it's what
industry was.
no it was working over COVID too. It was like with TikTok and everything.
Sure.
That's what gets you numbers and what's if you're trying to make it and
Yeah.
quote unquote and do all these things like that's what the labels want to see and what the algorithm wants to see and it, like if we're gonna kind of start talking about stuff like this right now like that's as a person that makes music I don't even say artist and be that up my own butt but like that's not what I got into this to do like my other band also just finished an album we're like how do we release this as an independent and everyone's like oh just release it as singles and make a million videos for each thing and we're like dude we're 31-year-olds like we just want to make angry music and like some dumb videos sure but like it just feels so disingenuous at a certain point
Agreed.
that kind of takes away from like the reason we made these songs in the first place and luckily with Jukebox is like we haven't had to do that. We got very lucky with how the release lined up and all these
Yeah.
songs and the reception to it, and like it's been all heart and love. But like facing down the barrel of this other gun for my other band, like on an independent side, like I'm like this model sucks.
Right.
Well,
Sorry
it's
to
also
go
like
off.
No,
it's well
no,
because
dude, it's all good. I mean, that's why I love that you did this 10-song record for Jukebox Romantics. Like that you did it the way you did, because I'm like, man, I never see that anymore. Like it's, I mean, I do and I don't, but it for me, it seems so few and far between. All I see is 1 and 2 songs that come out, every 3 months by somebody. And it's like, there's nothing to sink into, I mean, I don't know. And that just shows
well,
my age, because I loved getting vinyl. I love pulling the record out, listening to it, looking at liner notes, looking at everything that's going on it, listening to it, and just absorbing this whole piece of art that's in my hands and I'm hearing at the same time. Like to me, I love that. Like I've always loved that more than, yeah, like, in my old favorite bands, like, yeah, right, here's singles. It's like, okay. I mean, it's cool,
yeah,
but it's like, I don't
yeah,
listen to them, It's like,
yeah, it's also like, especially if you're in listening to it, and you're like, oh, here's a single, and then a month later, here's another single, and then another single. You're like not really getting to enjoy or focusing on that first song that came out, and then if on the other hand, if it's just one song, you're like, well, this is all you got. You're all you're giving me right now. It's just like just this one song, like to like hold me over until maybe you put out a record. I think that's just how my brain reacts to it. It's like, especially with my old favorite bands, like you were saying, like in a band like the Bouncing Souls would like they release a single, or I'm like, all right, well, I'll wait for the record. Like like or Alkaline Trio, like another band that I love. Like I'll
sure.
listen to one song and then I'll be like, all right, well, I guess I'll just wait for the record because I know they're going to put out a record with these type of bands, or hopefully. And so
Yeah.
I don't have it in me to just like get into one song and be like, all right, well, that was like kind of like a tease.
Well, it's not to go too far down a different rabbit hole, but two things. One of my favorite bands ever just got back together after playing Riot Fest in Chicago this past year. And they did that. They put out a single, and I'm like I don't want to listen to it. Like I want to wait till you put out a record, because I know you're going to write one and put one out. You know what I mean? It's so like for me, like there was that kind of dynamic. I don't know. I'm just right there with you on that. That to me is just, it's hard for me to kind of sink my teeth into that and then just sort of feel like, well, now what? And I love that experience of getting to feel kind of what the artist is doing at that time. Like this is where we were at this moment. This is why we were writing what we did. And it's instead of some single serving sort of, I don't know, it just feels cheap to me. But that's all I got to
Couldn't
say
agree
about that.
more. Couldn't agree more, man. We're with the way we did this, we do this, we do it for us. And when I
Awesome.
say us, I mean like me, Terry, you, the people like us. Like that's like yes, we want everyone to listen and enjoy us
Of
and
course.
party with us and do everything. But like I think a part of why we mesh as a band and why I mesh in other projects and stuff is because we grew up appreciating it for this certain value of a record.
Yep.
And I've always wanted to do a record like where it's like we're sitting down and we're putting all this effort into these songs and making them cohesive and like
Oh yeah, dude, this is
arguing
your
for
first full length.
yeah, I was getting into that. Like it's there I've always wanted to like get down and argue for hours on the way which song goes where
Sure.
and what's wait, we got to change this title because that title is bad. No, it's not. It's great. You're dumb. Like all everything. There's so many little steps and like the artwork went through like 8 changes in the 0 hour before like Andy was like, you need to tell me what this album looks like all of that. It's stressful and I loved every second of it. I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to go into a studio with my best friends
Yeah.
and like for days just do nothing but like get stressed about getting the best takes out of something, like
Yep.
all of that. And that's what I do that for the creation, the performance of it, talking about it with someone like you. Like that's
You're making me
you
laugh
appreciate
because
it. I feel
these
it.
were the easiest. These were the easiest songs to name and album art we've ever done in the history of the band. So it's funny is that the experience of you saying how stressful it was or picking which song order. I was like, oh, this kind of came together pretty easy comparatively to other
Yeah.
things.
In your dysfunctional history span, this is the easiest one, but for me,
Oh, that's great. I mean, and I'm glad that you were able to go through that because, right. I mean, I think everybody has that. I just want to do this record and I want to do, just like you said, just everything that you just said. I mean, I remember when that happened for me and I was so grateful that I got to go through that process, and that's cool that you were able to do it. And that's again, why I'm just excited that even that it came out with intent and purpose. No, we're getting this out so we can get it out for Fest because we're playing this love letter to Fest at Fest. And it's on the record. Like so many things about that are so great and how it's planned and with intent instead of just flippantly, doing it a different way. I applaud you guys for doing that and Sell the Heart Records for having the vision to do it. And I think that's awesome. I'm just super stoked for you. And that you get to woodshed this winter and make more videos that you don't want to make. And then, go hit the road and do all these magical things that you can't talk about in the spring, which we all look forward to hearing about. Speaking of which, where is the best place for everybody to kind of keep track of you? Is it, really,
Instagram.
Is it Instagram? I figured it is. Okay.
It's the easiest one out of all of them.
Cool.
For me.
Okay.
I still have a Dig Dug account if anyone still does that.
Wow.
But yeah,
Isn't Dig Dug like a video game?
Yeah, that was like a 1983 video game.
No, not Dig Dug. Fuck. What? It's similar. It's a thing before
Pornhub.
Like
you're talking about MySpace.
But follow me on
Pornhub.
the Penguin game, everybody. That's I still play that. I don't know. Oh, what's the name of that? I just ruined. Can we cut this?
No, definitely not. No, we're leaving this to fucking. I don't care. Like this is funny. That's hilarious. Well, cool. I'll make sure that I list at least your Bandcamp and your Instagram as well as a link to Sell the Heart Records so people know where to find you guys. But as this has been super fun talking with you guys and getting to know you both and hearing about the band and the record and everything that you're doing. I'm so grateful for you making the time to do it. And, I just wish you all the success in the world. And next time you guys, put out another record, I'd love to have you come back and talk about it if you're willing.
Totally, dude.
Absolutely.
We love it. Thanks for having us, man.
Absolutely.
Three Crows Club presents B-Side Breakdown. Finding a red ring that says Carpe Diem in a parking lot. Getting gifted one with a star that scars your knuckles. A knit green sweater found off of 6th Street. And a dozen or so rosaries given to me by my mom. Summoning a lost friend while tripping balls in the desert.
All right, and that wraps up another episode of the B-Side Breakdown. I want to thank James and Terry from the Jukebox Romantics for coming along to talk about the song The Walk to Heartwood. In the background, you're hearing the song Feedback City by Too Late But Still. If you like what you hear, please go back and listen to the previous episode because that's what it was all about. Up next, I have Brad Gunnarsson, who's a local legend in Minneapolis, Minnesota for just being a fierce supporter of local music and promotion and everything that goes along with it. We're going to talk about the song Teenager by the band Killing Stairs, which was a tribute to the Deftones. It's going to be a really cool episode, and I'm excited for you to hear it. So I'll give you a taste of that song at the end of this episode. I want to thank Adam Coulong and Carrie Bozel for helping me put together the jingle you hear at the beginning and the end of this episode. Please subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Again, thank you so much for your continued support. I really appreciate it, and stay safe and sane out there, and we'll catch up on the next one. All right, thanks.
Cover